Rosann, we've known each other for 3 decades.
Yes, a long time.
And you have been a professional counselor.
As you have been a professional counselor, how many people have we known in Hong Kong?
Yes, quite a lot.
So many different people.
And so many changes.
And that's why we want to think about women now and women then, and how women have changed over these years.
That must be very interesting.
Yes.
And it covered different generations.
Always.
Well, if they're interested in what we are talking about, how are they going to find us?
You're going to find us Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, PsychoAlchemy. We are Women Now and Then.
See you there. Well, so we are back, at the end of our last part, right? We were saying it's so tricky. We want friends that we can trust, but they are not really our relatives.
That's
right?
true.
But the thing is, I have recently have an accident at my home. One of my window got shattered, all right, and the glass broke all over my living room, and the water just flooded the floor, and that was when I got back home was midnight. I really have nobody to call to.
Yes.
Right. I really think it's not right to call my girlfriend, mainly because they are not my relatives, and I don't see it's a polite thing to call them over. But then I remember I stood at the living room shocked when I opened the door, and I was going really fast, who I can talk to, right? And I immediately think of, how come my domestic helper had a 3 weeks holiday and I have this accident
All by yourself.
all by myself
That's how it
and my
happened.
kitty cat? So actually, I'm glad we have this topic today. So how can we stay alone, and if we need help, how can we overcome our mind that it's okay to call for help?
Oh, it's okay to ask for help. That's so hard.
So hard.
Because we teach women to be responsible, have your own career, take care of your own finances. You're in charge of your own health. So, and that's what we've been doing, raising the career aspiration, raising the responsibility. So, how do you ask for help?
How do I ask for help? And I did. I finally, after 8 minutes of shock, I figure out who were the people that would still stay up at that hour.
Oh.
Yeah, those are late.
The late owls.
Late hours. So I thought of one person I immediately called, but then she was asleep. I think I rang for 10 times, and then I decided to hang up. It's not going to work. And actually, maybe another thing is, I really hate to call up people at late evening.
Yes.
Because when my father was sick then, all this midnight call was so frightening. And I don't want to create this kind of shock for anybody, right? So I finally decide, okay, I have another friend that is at late hours, so I can call. And she actually was awake, and she was playing her Lego. So I was so happy. I told her what happened, and she was so, resourceful.
She's awake and alert?
Right. She was playing her Lego, so she was totally awake. And she gave me many suggestions, like I should go to the maintenance man and get a board.
Clear thinking. What a good friend.
She asked me to get plastic gloves and see if I have a sweeper and everything. And actually, I follow all her instructions. And for 1 whole hour, I did pretty well. But the mess was so big, I still have to clean the second hour. And she WhatsApped me, so how are you? Is it okay? Are you hanging out?
This is a friend.
Right.
This is a dear
But you know
friend.
what's so funny is at 2:30, she finally left a message to me and said, I think you have done all this already.
Yes.
So, I just wonder, how come I didn't drive over to help you since I'm still playing my Lego? But forget it. It's already too late. I guess you have already done it. So good night.
Wow.
But I gave her a message.
Yeah.
In return, I said, you already done a great job.
You did help me. Yeah.
Because at that time, I was totally shocked.
Yeah.
For this last 2.5 hours, your message actually gave me a lot of support.
And there you are alone.
Yes.
And there's no family person.
Uh-huh.
But you have this
Connection.
connection through the telephone.
Yes, yes.
And that person actually helps even though they're far away. So somehow in the mind of the alone person,
Yes.
you can survive.
Yes.
But it's really nice to get somebody checking in.
Yeah.
Somebody, isn't that
Yeah,
fascinating?
and you know the how she'd help me remind me of a movie that I plan to talk about today.
Okay, let's get to the movies
The
in the book.
movie,
The
I
movie,
think you
what
might
mov-
have saw it. Actually,
Yeah.
it's a Oscar-winning movie. It's called Gravity. Remember,
Gravity,
2013, where Sandra Bullock.
She's by herself. in
Yes,
space.
yes,
yes.
Actually, she was in the movie. She's an astronaut. She's supposed to go there. That's the first time in her life to get on the space
Oh, my
shuttle.
goodness.
For she is a medical engineer, so she went there to do some sort of experiment. But I think the USSR shuttle just hit the US shuttle, and they have an accident, and the rest of the people die. Only Sandra and the handsome man, George Clooney, the other astronaut,
She's outside somehow. How
somewhere.
does- yeah.
Actually, they both got
Oh, she was alone.
alone.
There she was
right,
alone.
with the wire, and the oxygen was going down. And George Clooney was, I think, in the movie, is his last flight at the space shuttle. He can retire after that. So actually, that movie was so good. It's only two-person acting, and it's a lot of time the woman has to face a lot of things alone because all the connection from Earth gone. The only connection, sometimes she got it, sometimes totally gone, is with George Clooney. And he knows
She was alone.
all alone.
Alone.
Right. And a lot of times she has to face the issue, is she going to die alone in the
Yeah.
space? Nobody
Yeah.
to talk to. And I think the movie, why she won her
What's the name of this?
Gravity.
Gravity.
Gravity. And I think she has to contemplate a lot. You know, what's the purpose of her life?
yeah,
Why
yeah.
is she doing it? You know,
Yeah.
and she had very good acting. Just imagine it's the first time you are in the outer space, all dark, no connection, and it's like running out of oxygen. So I think this movie is in real life we don't have that kind of dramatic situation, but I can tell you, maybe if women like me living all by myself,
Yes.
something happened, you feel so helpless. It's this helplessness. For a moment, you feel so, how do I say, desperate, so
Yeah.
self-pity. How come I
Yes.
end up like this? You know, how come nobody I can talk to? And is it going to be like that? You know, and I think this is quite a good movie, even though we will not get into this outer space experience. But I think occasionally, if you are living alone, when you are really sick, or
Yeah.
maybe something happened, you put your luggage on top of your cabinet and it just drop on you and you
Yeah.
just hurt yourself, and nobody you can ask for
Yes.
help. At that very moment, you can feel that, you know, desperate. Yeah.
Our modern women,
Mhm.
I hear your choices, that I hear what you have said.
Mm.
And somehow you and so many of us have made choices to live alone.
Mm.
So there's one moment when it's scary to be alone.
Yes.
But actually, we've made the choice.
Mm.
Now, if we're not alone, I want to go back in time with the book, because
Yes.
my book contrasts.
Wow.
This book was written 1997. It's women in biblical times. It's the lives of the 4 wives of Jacob.
Ooh. One of the 4 wives.
One of the 4 wives. She's the daughter of one of the women, but she calls the other 3 women her 4 mothers. She has 4 mothers. Now, I contrast this because you have a very good story of the woman in space alone, and another story of a woman in an apartment alone needing a friend. But the women in biblical times, and for most of human inhabitants on this planet, women have never been alone. So it's a scary time. I think the reason this book was so successful maybe 20 years ago was because it was very accurate descriptions of what women need to talk to each other about. And that is when women had no jobs. None of these women were the secretary, the office manager.
Okay.
So women talked about how your body changes. So what is the red tent? The red tent is where women went when they were menstruating.
Okay. All right.
All right?
So a
there's
hideaway place.
A designated place for women menstruating. And the younger girls would come to bring them food, bring them tea, what have you. And there would be conversations. This is very significant. Conversations between the women who were of menstruating age and the girls who not yet started. And then there were conversations between women who were menstruating but not yet pregnant. So all of the discussions about pregnancy, what attracts a man, should you do this for a man, should you not do this for a man, lots and lots and lots of talk of women in extended families.
I see. Wow, interesting.
Okay, but now we don't have the extended family. But for thousands of years, women existed in extended families. So we inherently know how to do the connections.
Yes.
What we don't know how to do yet is how to live alone.
Live alone.
And what are the feelings in living alone? What are the feelings in living alone? We don't know this yet. We don't have too many role models. Your film from last week, the episode last week, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes.
She was a very dramatic leader of women. She was married. She had children. She made changes for women's lives. We don't have so many of those women in the world. We have very good leaders, but maybe one handful. Can you count 2 handfuls? Maybe 20 women leaders, women movie stars, people who are living into their 70s and 80s and still going. But most of us have to rely on each other.
Yes. Yeah, when you said that, all the female role model, I was thinking of, well, somehow they got married. It's just maybe their children, I mean, their spouse died, or maybe they already done a lot. So, but I don't see any really single woman role model.
No, Eleanor Roosevelt got married. Jane Fonda got married.
Yes. Right. Everybody
choose them from movie stars.
Margaret Thatcher got married.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we still haven't quite lived through this. Some of the suffragettes were not married, but we still have we have the outward role model of leadership. What we don't have is a strong role model of how does the woman alone survive by herself. How does she survive by herself? And that's why we need each other.
Yes.
We need groups of women friends. We need our friends on the internet also.
Yep.
Because we are alone at odd hours of time when we don't want to call one of our friends who's in the same time zone. But we know on the internet, it's only 9 o'clock in the morning there. I can call there and see how they are. We're living in such a different world these days. So different.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, and maybe that's our only hope. If we are single alone in this 21st century, well, maybe the social media help a little bit, so we can always get connected.
We all can always get connected.
You know what I did sometimes? If I have some crazy questions that I cannot find anybody to answer at odd hours, I will just do something on the Facebook. I say, "Oh, I need this. Where can I get it?"
Yes.
Even 2 in the morning, someone will respond.
Someone will respond. Someone will respond.
Yeah.
I think another thing we can do.
Yes.
I have a second book here. This one's called Troubling American Women. Now, this is about American women in Hong Kong. The reason it's helpful is that sometimes the people in our own family cannot help us.
Okay.
If you live in any city at all where there's a mixed population, people from different cultural groups, different ethnic groups, different religious groups, sometimes, if you can, make the effort to reach out beyond your own kind.
Ah, I
Beyond
see.
your own kind. Now, an American woman wrote this book. Dr. Stacy Lee Ford. She's a specialist in American studies, actually. This was her PhD study. But she wondered, how come American women have reputation in Hong Kong of being loud, okay, and compared to Asian women, they are usually large, and they take up a lot of space. Now, the way in which they take up space is on the buses and on the MTR, and we have a marvelous MTR system. When you come to Hong Kong, but women would get on and they have a bag, and then they have a tote bag, and then they might have a tennis racket. And instead of keeping it all together the way an Asian woman would, because she would be considerate, because she learned in that family, don't make yourself so noticeable. American women don't quite have that value. So her tote bag's on one seat, her tennis racket's falling over this way, and all of the Asian women on the MTR are going, oh, she's an American. She's an American.
Yes.
She takes up space.
Take up space.
The comparison, though, as Asian women got to know Americans, and again, the past 40, 50 years, because there have been more Americans here, one of the questions that's posed to American women as they get to know Asian women, the Asian women ask, why do you always volunteer? How come there's always an American woman starting something?
Yes, yes.
Why is that? And the American woman will go, well, why not?
Why not? Right.
And so the Asian woman and the American woman
Yes.
question each other. And what do American women start? They need lighting in the playgrounds, okay? They need mother's books in the children's section of the libraries. So they pick one issue and then they go for it.
Go for it, yeah.
And pretty soon there's 3 women, and then there's 5 women. And when they get to be about 10 women, then there's 10 more Asian women saying, okay, I will help with that project.
Yes, yes.
But the Asian women always wonder, what is it in the culture of American women in particular? Some Europeans, yes, but American women in particular.
Yeah.
So this book, Dr. Ford writes about why they are troubling, how they are so different from Asian cultures.
Yes.
So it's a fun book.
Yes.
Now look at, Dorothy gave you a picture of a woman in space. We gave you another picture of women in biblical times.
Yes.
We give you another picture of women who are in cross-cultural settings.
Yes. Yes.
Women alone.
Yeah.
Women alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually, since we are approaching the end of our 13th episode, I really would like to hear from our audience.
Wouldn't that be good?
It would be good if you can give us some feedback. Me and Rosann was talking about, do we want to continue this program? I have some feedback from my friends saying that it's very interesting. They keep the YouTube and let their children, their daughters, to watch it, because there are certain things even the mother had no idea, because the mother is in the 50s, so they want to know a little bit more about what's going on in the past. So please, if you watched today's episode and have any comments on what we've done in the past 12 episodes, please give us feedback. And if you want to see us more, tell us. And we are thinking of having a sort of like a focus group.
Focus group, yes.
If you're interested in getting into our focus group and give us some direct feedback on what we can do to improve our program, I think you just give us a note and we'll invite you. But if you are in the States, it's really hard. You have to pay for your own tickets. But if you are in Hong Kong, we'll do something together.
That. And we like your specific suggestions. Some wanted more about women getting older. Some wanted more sex education for adults. We can do that.
Yes.
We can go with that.
Yeah, we hear you.
we did hear you. If you
and
want.
the men.
And the men.
Yeah.
Men. We think there are lots of men who enjoy the conversation of 2 women because they want to know more about women. So we have promised each other we will talk more about men and more with men, because while women are changing, men also have to change.
Yes.
How can they get along with us?
Yes.
So we welcome your feedback. If you're
Yes.
interested in a focus group, we're going to put that together, and we'll do another series.
Yes.
We really want your suggestions.
Yes. Well,
Wow.
great show.
Great show. Great show.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.